That's how he did with his siblings, pestering and pestering and teasing all the time.
He's a hoot. I'm turning off the little electrical box that I'm having him play with, and I'm kicking him off the couch.
Good.
Telling him to get behind the camera.
Good.
And then maybe our recordings won't turn off anymore. That is the first time, and I've used QuickBooks, a QuickTime Player, a lot.
Yeah. All right. So where do we start now? I don't know where it cut off.
How we are.
Oh yeah, how we are the individual and whole collective at the same time.
And he's giggling at you and saying that, well, I'd have to describe that as an emotional definition. And a lot of times, he's having a small epiphany. He says, Mom, do you mean like how we are when we're still in spirit, or how we are when we're in a body?
I guess in spirit.
He said, good, no, that's easier to explain.
Slacker.
I think so. So he's describing how we are in spirit is a collective whole. We don't move all together in one piece, but we have the awareness of our movements of all the spirits. He's talking about it being similar to mechanics. The details in mechanics. He's kind of talking shop, and so I don't really understand all the terms.
Oh, he loves mechanic type stuff. He used to work on cars and all that stuff.
You were handy. He says, do I surprise you? So he's talking about all these parts, and he says that, we all have a purpose within the whole, but we still have that free will choice. So if you're looking at how we are, we're exactly who we define ourselves to be, even in spirit. If we want to be kind of further away from the whole or closer to, and he says that's what humans do with belief systems. They shut down and they become further away, or they open up, open-minded, and they become closer. He was just going off on a little tangent. Remember, belief systems lie in the head, so you have to be open-minded, right? It's the way you perceive things. But faith, he says, that's more of an emotional term. That requires the heart to be, understanding, even if there aren't definitions or terms to go with it. So you still have all this free will when you're in spirit. So when you're asking me to describe how we are or what we are, I would say that we are a whole, a smaller whole of the prime source that has independent feelings and knowledge and destiny, but all of it serves the greater purpose of the whole.
Oh, well said. I like that.
He goes, high five, and I go, I'm not touching you. You're screwing with all my electronics. I'm not doing it.
Exactly. Stay away from that boy. All right, so here's one my husband asked. It was so cute. When somebody's arm or leg is amputated, do they still have that energetic appendage?
Yeah, he's doing some weird thing. Ooh. She's trying to dance. He's telling me that's dance, Jamie. All right.
Oh God, he was all feet. I mean, just tripping all over himself when he danced.
All right, give me the answer now. The answer is yes. Even if the body part is not there, and he goes, how about, well, that's very nice of you. How about women who have hysterectomies, or people who have, are you trying to say appendicitis?
No.
Okay. So in other words, he's saying any body part that's removed, organ, finger, arm, things of that nature, the body will still behave as if it's there energetically, right? So even if it's removed, the energy still exists and it's still functioning as if it is there. So it sends signals to the nearby three-dimensional body, which can send signals to the brain that the phantom arm or limb has an itch or it needs something, or a woman that I'm like, how do you know this? A woman who no longer has a uterus, if it's cramping, things of that nature, that there are still those kinds of symptoms. They are considered phantom because physically it cannot happen, but energetically it's giving those signals. And he says, that should be the goddamn proof that when people feel sick and they go get checked out and they're perfectly fine, that their energetic body is fucked up and that it needs to be dealt with, and they should go to someone who can do the energy work. Like, this shit needs to be validated now, because there's so many people out there who are suffering, who will say that they have chronic stomach pain, but yet when they get their stomach scoped, there's not even a fucking ulcer in there. And he said this is all energetic woes and worry.
Interesting. It's just like phantom limb pain,
Yes. And he says in the phantom limb pain, they should see someone who does energetic work. And they could work on that energetic arm or finger or uterus or whatever. I think he just likes to say the word uterus.
Well, I know. It's so funny. I don't think I've ever heard him say that before. All right. Why do we have to have spiritual amnesia? Why do we have to come here and forget everything we knew and know as spirits?
He was trying to think of the number one surgery where body parts are removed, and hysterectomy was the one that he could think of.
Okay.
That is why he came up with that one.
Wow.
That and appendicitis. Why do we have to have amnesia?
Milk of spiritual amnesia.
He's called you dude. Dude. If we didn't have that, Mom, then why are we kicking off and coming back into life on Earth?
I ask myself that question all the time.
If we didn't have the amnesia part, we would have all our memories, first and foremost. We would have connection to all the other lives that we're living simultaneously, because remember, time is not linear. And he said he's going to take it upon himself to beat that concept into everyone.
I think we've been there, done that, and bought the t-shirt, Erik. Seriously.
He says, I'm not giving up.
Okay.
Then, if we didn't have that amnesia and we had contact to all of it, he says, well, then what are we here to remember? The absence of gives us the opportunity to pretend that we have a clean slate and to pretend that we have to learn these concepts. It is all about remembering. It's all about using our own skills, our own survival skills on Earth. Emotional survival skills is how he wants to put it. To find our way through love, to find ourselves a good definition of how we want to describe ourselves. Okay. Because everybody's definition is going to be a little bit different.
What about Jesus? Oh, you finished?
No, he's kind of pacing back and forth.
He always paced. All right. Some people don't, right? Like Jesus, didn't he come down? I don't know why I say down. Come here with some knowledge or all the knowledge that he had as a spirit, as a free spirit?
Not all. He had to learn stuff. Mm-hmm. But there are many people, he's saying thousands, thousands, that come down that didn't get the amnesia kick. And luckily those... Start over, Erik. I'm sorry, I lost you. Luckily, those that are in the limelight or have had stories written about them, they're the ones who had parents that understood that what the child was doing at a young age was not normal to the human experience. They knew it was something beyond, a link to beyond, a connection to. And so the parents helped house that. But Sorry, I didn't mean to go blank. Sometimes I forget that my mouth's not moving and I'm just listening. He was talking about also sometimes the stories that go with these iconic religious people or spiritual people. The story about how they came into being was falsely created by those around it to make that person be more etherical or kind of separate from a human experience, because they wanted the words and the life of that person who has the memory of the afterlife and all that is to be seen as more special. So yes, it kind of does always come with a bit of bullshit, because think about it, whoever is watching the situation or relaying the message or grapevining it always translates it through their own brain, their own tool, and add their own shit to it, you know? So you can't take it all 100% as that's who that person is or what's happened to them. You have to look at where they're coming from, and you have to look at who's telling the story. Like, I'm sorry, he's talking about some beautiful stories being told about children who remember their past lives, books being written about it, tons of research, but a lot of times it will depict the religion of the parents and not necessarily the vulnerability or the newness of the child, because the parent will see it through their own belief system, be it Christian or Jewish, and start defining their child's actions in that belief system. And so the story that you're looking at, the moral to it might be the parent's belief system and not really the vulnerability or the newness of the child's experience. He said, so you always have to look at where the story's coming from. And he said, every human has a little bit of bullshit. And he says, I'll tell you right now, every human should be proud of their bullshit. He says, you don't need to set it aside. He says, you just need to know what it is, so that when you're conveying your story, you could also be able to convey it without your bullshit. To know your bullshit is also to know how to set it aside when it's, appropriate timing. But always, he's pointing his finger, always be proud of that shit.
He's a character today.
He is, and thank you for not messing with the computer anymore.
But the night is young. All right, so do animals always come back as animals, plants as plants, humans as humans?
He kind of wiggles his body back and forth. He's like, hell no. He goes, no, that's stupid to think of. Why would we do it like that? What's that?
I'm sorry, Erik.
He goes, no. Stupid, stupid, stupid. Anything that has a life force, a soul, can come back as anything else that has a soul. One is not greater than the other. If you were sitting there, oh gosh. I try to mimic him, but sometimes I just can't.
I bet it's hard.
If you are sitting there on your pretend high fucking horse, and you're watching this video thinking that the bird outside your window is lesser than you because it's smaller or it doesn't speak English or Spanish or Italian, and he's naming other languages, right? Then you are fucking... No, I can't say that. Basically, he's gonna call you stupid.
Oh, not me. Don't call me stupid. I'm your mom. I can put you in timeout when I get over there.
Put me in timeout.
My knee.
He goes, but it's just so ignorant of us as a whole to think that because you're not like us or you cannot communicate to us, that the way that you're doing it as the animal, as the insect, has very little impact on us or not a lot of meaning, and therefore we choose not to respect it. And he says that's something that in this century that we're bouncing into needs to change. He's like, we really need to look at how we're perceiving the whole world. Mm-hmm. And he says, I don't care if you think I'm falling hippie. I don't think...
Falling hippie. Okay.
Falling into being a hippie, Or
Okay.
even falling into being more Native American, where I'm going to start worshiping every living thing that I see and believe that it holds a message, because that shit does hold a lot of messages. And somehow, centuries ago, we agreed that we would step away from that. And now it's our time to step into it. So, that ant, crawling ant, insect ant, can
I
come back. I was thinking person ant, but
know.
um, the insect ant can come back as a person. The soul of a tree can come back as a dog. The soul of a cow can come back as a crab in the ocean.
So I guess it's all energy. So energy can be reincarnated to any kind of situation. But what about a rock? Can you come back as a rock?
He says that's not really living energy.
Okay. So
So you don't really want to?
I don't think I do. Well, sometimes I want to be a rock. It's much more relaxing. Less responsibility.
Definitely less responsibility.
Then I can rock on.
But bum pun.
Oh God. All right, now, how are children's souls treated when they die? Do they grow up there? Can they be any age they want, including an adult? And who takes care of them? Maybe I should do that one at a time, but go ahead, see what you can remember.
First, she made a smart-ass comment that I refuse to say. Children are treated like spirits. They're treated like anyone else who passes away.
Mm-hmm.
The only difference he can think of is that if the child, so we could say, like, give me examples. Okay, so if the child spirit is a baby and dies very young, or dies in the belly, dies from miscarriage, abortion, or just cord strangulation, stillbirth, anything like that, that's such a short life. He says, I said, what's a short life? He said, pretty much anything from 0, when the spirit decides to enter into the baby's body, and he'll say 5 years old. He calls that short life. And short life means that the child hasn't been influenced by the culture or society to let go of the beliefs that they came in with.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so their connection to the afterlife is still pretty strong. If they're passing 5 and below, they pretty much already know their shit. So when they get back, everyone's like, hey, you're here again, how you been? And they have that calmness, that knowingness, that familiarity. And he says there's really like a zero trauma. Because they're like, I was just here, hey.
That's it. It's like one of those revolving doors in a high rise.
Yes.
In a skyscraper.
And if they choose, they can stay that age, or they can grow with that age and grow with the family annually to be a part of them. And he says, like, for me, I like being my age. I think I'm staying this way. Because, in fact, I think if I got older, I'd look pretty stupid because my maturity level is not going to go beyond what I have right now.
Oh, that's probably true.
So he would look, not like he has his marbles all together.
And
But-
who said you did?
What are you doing? He's checking his pockets. He's pretending to, like, dig through pockets to find his marbles to prove to you that he had them all.
Oh. That's a good one. Boom. All right, so what about babies when they cross over? Does somebody have to take care of them? Or if they want to? If they want to remain a baby?
Yeah, if they want to stay being a baby and grow, it's not like Inhuman though, Mom. It's not like they need to be fed, or they need to be dressed, or they need to be protected.
But nurtured, right?
Sure, nurtured, absolutely. But the kind of things you think of, like sleepless nights and rocking and stuff like that, that's not kind of what we mean when we're baby.
Okay.
It's kind of like just thinking of it in terms of size, just being small or simple, simplicity. And then we grow into accepting more knowledge.
Who takes? Is there like a place, like a nursery, that they take care of them, or do deceased relatives take care of them, or what? I mean, they don't just go crawling around with a diaper on, just out in the ethers.
No diapers needed. Wherever they think they want to be, they go. They have the same intelligence as an independent spirit would in the afterlife. They're not helpless. They are not helpless at all.
Okay.
They can communicate. They might not have had the English language on Earth, but they can speak loud and proud as soon as they let go of their body.
Okay.
He said, so there's nothing that's being mistranslated. What they might want is, like you said, nurturing or companionship.
Yeah.
Commonly, it'll be from those who've passed away in that family structure, that lineage. But if that's not there, it's the guides of the parents.
Okay.
So the family unit still stays together until time passes, and then that child can decide, are they going to stay and kind of linearly, is that a word? Linearly play out that life with the family that they tried to come in, or are they going to kind of remove their energy from it and go place themselves into another lifetime?
Okay. Interesting. Now, why do children and babies and pets, why are they able to see spirits sometimes, and why does it fade away? I suppose they fade away because they get at least the children and babies get indoctrinated by their parents, right?
Yep. They tell them, good, bad, that's not right, that's wrong.
Well, why are they able to, children, babies, and pets, why are they able to see spirits?
Pure energy.
Can you make that a whole sentence, please?
Because they're not getting fucked up or mucked up by belief systems.
So everybody who doesn't, I mean, if I didn't have a belief system, I wasn't all messed up, tainted, would I be able to see spirits just
Yes.
like babies do?
Yes.
Okay. Interesting. All
That's
right.
why
What do we?
pets and dogs, cats continue to do it, because they don't sign up for our belief systems.
Oh, that's true. I see my cats. They look up into this empty space and start purring or keep looking and following their eyes. And same thing with Bella, my dog. She'll bark at the stairway that's empty, like
Eric.
somebody's there. Yeah, Eric, I'm sure.
He's like, that's me.
Of course it is. What do we look like to you, Eric?
People, dense, milky. Milky. He's trying to describe, he goes, like, we're so clear and fluid, we're like water. And then when we go to work with people, they're kind of dense and milky. You can't see through milk.
Kind of like sewage water?
For once, he's not going to go the nasty route. He's, no, not like sewage water.
Oh, okay.
No, just
You look like milk. Is it homogenized or whole skim?
Whole milk. He's cutting up.
Okay. Anything else on how we look?
No, he said just dense.
Okay. Some of us are. Okay. What do we feel when you touch us, and what do you feel?
What do humans feel when I touch them? Mostly goosebumps, tingles.
Definitely. I felt that a lot.
Something other that's irrelevant and nasty that I'm skipping.
Oh, good. Please do.
You wanted to skip that. That's good. Then he said sometimes if I get really close to the person, I make them feel like they can't take a deep breath. And he says usually there's this technique in the afterlife when we're helping a human go through, whether it's grief or anxiety, just a hardship that they're making harder on themselves because of the way that they're perceiving it, that we kind of get up in their energy and we wrap them like a cocoon almost. Or you can just think of it as Big Bear Hug. We wrap them with energy and just pull them in and let them know that they're not alone. They're with someone. And often I find that people can't catch their breath and they take deep breaths. He says, so that's mostly, I think, my big signals. Then what I feel when I touch humans, yeah, that doesn't register. He goes, kind of what it feels like when you walk through a wall. I'm like,
Oh, no, I don't think so. We just get big goose eggs on our forehead if we do that.
He said, well, it's like when you try to put your cold feet in a hot tub. You dip your toes in there and it burns.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And you pull it out, but you kind of get used to it. You're pushing through the heat. The heat's translating all through the toes and the foot and everything. The water still stays on the surface, but the heat moves through. It has an, energetic response, I guess, on the inside, you could say. He goes, I guess that's what it would feel like. At first, you kind of enter into the person's energetic field, the big thing that you carry with you. And he says, it's kind of easy. You're like, oh, okay, now I know the person and I know what they're thinking and feeling. He goes, but when you enter into the body, it's like stepping toes into a hot tub. You're like, ooh, you got to get used to it. And sometimes, I'm asking him what sometimes means. 80% of the time. That's fine. 80% of the time, you need permission to enter into that person's body. He says there's probably 20% of people that just don't even notice, don't even care. And he says there's probably about 40% of the people that notice when it happens, but just kind of shrug it off. But you still have to kind of ask permission to go work further or be closer. And he says,
on a conscious level, do you ask them, or is it?
No, subconscious level. If it was conscious, I'd fucking scare them out of their skin. And he says there's about 40% who are highly aware that when they have that sensation that they know what's going on. And they have boundaries clearly set, and you have to ask before you even tempt. I can't wait till everybody gets to be that way.
Me too.
He just got really calm and he was like, yeah, that's going to be fucking cool. When everybody's catching up to the concepts of energetic body. It doesn't even have to be described as spiritual or mysticism. Fuck all that terminology. Just people waking up and becoming aware of the energetic body. He's sitting down, he's like nodding his head. Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
That's Erik. Well, I think that, Erik, do you have anything else to say?
No. He's trying to dance again. Nope.
Oh, please don't. Please don't, Erik. You're going to break a leg. An energetic leg.
I have no idea what he's doing. It's really funny, though. You don't realize how, leggy and army he is.
Oh, he is.
He's thin. But normally his arms are kind of always to his body, or he kind of has them curled up. You don't get to see his wingspan until he pulls some of these things, and you're just like,
wingspan.
Wow.
He crossed his arms all the time. That's pretty much how he walks, pacing and crossing his arms.
But he's
Spider-Man.
Yes. Sit down.
How about you, Jamie? Have anything else to say before we close?
I just want to thank Erik for not messing with the videos anymore. The screen stayed exactly the same. Nothing shrunk or collapsed or changed screens.
Thank you, Erik, and thank you for making the little communication device, I don't know what it's called, work. That was brilliant.
We'll definitely look more into that. Hopefully we can share more of it.
Okay. Bye, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yes. Take care, everyone.
Oh, wait. Let me tell you that Jamie's site, you need to go see it. is withloveandlight.com, and spell out the A-N-D, in case you guys don't know how to spell.
And definitely go over to Channeling Erik, and that is Erik with a K, E-R-I-K, and read the blog, start from beginning, and then get addicted and explain to your spouse why you can't leave your computer.
There
We've
we
heard
go.
stories of that, right?
I've had a lot of people do that. And also, I want you to know that we're going to have a big Channeling Erik event in Atlanta in February. You can find out more about that on Jamie's site. Jamie, do you remember the exact dates? I think it's the 7th, 8th, or the 8th and 9th.
It's something like that, yes, in February. We're also doing an online little event in November. I think that's the 8th and 9th, and then the February 7th and 8th.
And tell us about that online event. Is that when you trans-channel Erik?
Yes, I'm going to let him do the work.
So Erik will get into her body and use her mouth as a voice, as his mouthpiece.
Spooky.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
For this time, really goodbye.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.